Hi, my name's Rachel, this is Peach Knits, and this is my monthly knitting podcast and stash busting update. It'll probably be a quick one this month because it hasn't been a super productive month, but I hope that you still stick around to listen and find out how I'm doing, I guess. I don't know. If you don't know who I am, which is like entirely fair, I'm someone with too much yarn, in my opinion, and I'm working through it at the moment by knitting more, and I've installed a full yarn ban until I get down to halfway through my stash. So at the moment I have 207 100 gram skeins of yarn. I don't need that many, and I won't be able to buy more yarn until I'm down to 104. I'm not gonna round it down, are you kidding me? No. Anyway, getting straight into my finished objects for December. I've only got one thing to show you. Singular FO, not FOs. Oh, my hair gets stuck in everything, I'm sorry. But they are some just simple rib leg warmers. I'm not going to show you on my legs, but I might have a photo that I can insert. This is kind of what they look like. Very cute. Although the way I closed it's a bit funny on one of them. I just kind of like don't care. I might have to go back and fix it, but this is what they look like. Rather than do increases on the rib, which maybe I should have done, that might have been more professional, I just increased the needle size I was using like halfway down so that it would be like wider down here, and then when you're wearing it as a leg warmer it creates that really cute like scrunched look. This was made with Mohair Delight by Hobie. There we go. And this is color 1, so I think it's just like an off-white. Wearing it, it's a bit itchy, and I'm a bit nervous because I know this is like an acrylic and mohair blend. Yeah, 50% mohair, 50% acrylic. So maybe that's what's contributing to the itch. But I didn't think I'd be one of those people that was like, mohair's too itchy for me, because I bought some to use with my other yarn, but I haven't actually made it in a garment I wear against my body yet. So if this is anything like that experience, I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear it against my body. I'll have to rethink that. But maybe it's just this yarn. I don't know. If anyone has any tips on that, I would love to know. And also, I definitely knit some of my hair into this. Oh god. Yeah, I get why people like have a love-hate relationship with mohair, because it is a lot, but it looks really cute once it's done. I feel like that halo is kind of gorgeous. But this is the only FO I have for December. Just a couple of 2x2 rib leg warmers, knit on like 4.5mm and then 5mm. And I think they look pretty cute, but honestly, I probably just did that as like a palette cleanser because the other project I'm working on at the moment, I'm not like a monogamous knitter, but I'm like monogamish when it comes to my knitting projects. So I like to pick like a primary project and work on that for the most part, and then just like pick up stuff here and there as like a little palette cleanser. But like if I'm on something, I'm like 90% of my knitting time is going towards that project. And for right now, that is this one. Ooh, it's all tangled up. Isn't she lovely? Oh my gosh. So this is going to be another bodysuit by another knit, and it's currently in testing. I'm really enjoying the testing process so far. Everyone has been really lovely, and Christelle's been super responsive to any of the questions we have. And it's been a pretty nice process so far. I was like kind of intimidated, but now that I've started the body shaping area, I'm like, oh, okay, like this makes sense. Although I don't want to give anything away, given that this will be a sold pattern. So I'll just show you that this is all I've got at the moment. And you might be wondering, that looks really small for you. And it is, because I knit it with superwash yarn, kind of just, you know, preparing myself for the fact that it will grow a lot. So this is actually knit on 3 needles smaller than the pattern calls for, but I did a gauge swatch and that blocked out to like pretty much perfectly on gauge. So I'm hoping that this is fine. And if it isn't fine, I'll just cry, and that's fine too. But yes, I actually hand dyed this yarn. which was pretty fun. I'm very much just a hobbyist when it comes to dyeing yarn, but the only way I learn is by doing. So hopefully I will get better at dyeing yarn by just doing it. And actually I watch a lot of Chem Knits. Her channel's really helpful for teaching you like the variables and the like chemistry behind it, because I did not like science in high school. I liked some of my teachers, was not a science girly, was not a science or a maths girly. All of STEM actually, you know, figures, and now I do maths, which is like 90% knitting. But anyway, this is my next whip. Well, this is one panel from it. I'm using my Centro for this, and I'm just making, they're about 1 meter, I think, maybe just under 1 meter. But they're just flat panels, tubes, because I honestly feel like the Centro is just best at doing tubes. The panel setting is just so finicky, and like, no matter what I do, it always just looks a bit messy on the edges. But maybe I should just be trying harder, I don't know. Anyway, I have been using a lot of my squish yarn, which was like a very big culprit to my like oversized stash. If you saw my organizing video, I've got so much squish yarn, and I feel like using it on my Centro to make things like blankets and accessories is going to be the way to go. So I actually have, I basically use like 0.8 of a 100 gram skein of squish for each of these panels, and I think I've got like 12 or 13 now, probably enough to connect together with just like a crochet hook along the side, and make a blanket. Like I really should have had this finished for this, so at least I'd have 2 FOs, but it wasn't gonna happen. I don't know, I just hate that, like, I don't mind the actual knitting process of things, but then like putting them together, seaming, I guess, I don't know. I don't actually dislike seaming, I just don't like the fact that I have to do it. That makes no sense. But that is my next whip, and then I've got one more whip. This is gonna be a nightmare to show you, as you can see, because I am horrible when it comes to using like bobbins and doing an intarsia. I just kind of like hope for the best, and for the most part it's fine, but it will just look really horrible while I'm doing it. But let's see, maybe I'll just have to fold it in half to show you. Ta-da! Yeah, there's not enough of it to really let you know what it looks like. It also, I think, is a bit deceiving because it's not blocked yet, and once it's blocked, it should be more of a square. Right now, it is very much rectangular. But I've been burned before where I made like checkerboard crochet projects, and I make the square like a perfect square, and then once you're wearing it and like gravity's pulling on it or you block it, it becomes like oblong, it becomes like a rectangle. So now I just make rectangles and block them into squares, because who's gonna stop me? This is actually a recreation. I feel like some people might be able to immediately pick up what it's a recreation of, but I'm planning to make a video with a few recreations, so I don't want to give it away yet. But I mean, if you know what it is, you know. And that's all I've got going for whips at the moment. In terms of acquisitions, I feel like this could be a bit of a cop-out because I've already showed you the whip I'm using it for. But as I mentioned, I did dye this yarn. So this is Knit Picks Stroll in their bare colorway, so just undyed. And I didn't show this in my yarn organization video because I just keep it in a cardboard box all the time. Like, it's you don't see it. It's just in my closet in a cardboard box. But I did buy like a multi-pack of it about a year ago, and honestly I don't regret that. I think it was a good deal, and like a lot of the patterns I like use sock yarn. And it's really nice to be able to just like, oh, like this pattern I want to make. Like I knit these socks for my friend as a present. Aren't they cute? I think they're the Magic Toadstool socks by Stone Knits. They're cute. But like I saw the pattern, and in that moment I was like, oh, I want to make that for her, but like I don't have the yarn for it. And then I realized I could just dye it. So I did, and having that flexibility is really nice, because then this test pattern came along and it was like, you need to use a 4-ply yarn, and I was like, the only 4-ply yarn I have is this one, but like thank God it's undyed, because that means I can make it whatever color I want. And I did. I made it like a periwinkle, which I'm pretty happy with. Like I said, it's a bit more tonal than I wanted it to be, but I think it'll still look fine. Like, at least I'm telling myself that. And it's a lesson for next time I dye, to not overcrowd the knitting vessel so that all the dye saturates properly. You live and you learn. But that is really the closest thing I have to an acquisition, and I always get really excited to dye yarn. It's just really fun. I feel like it gives me so much more momentum and inspiration when I'm starting a new project to know that I dyed the yarn, because like I want to see what it looks like knitted up, and like I want to swatch of it immediately. I like actually gauge swatch because it's fun to gauge swatch when you're the one who dyed the yarn, because you're like surprising yourself by seeing it come together as a little swatch. You get to see what the variegation looks like, which is really cool. And then lastly, I guess for a stash busting update, to be fair, I've used a lot more yarn than this, but this is technically my only finished object. So for the first month, we've used a total of 0.5 skeins. There's 50 grams. Because I only used one of these, and they're 50 grams. Which is disappointing. But as you can see, I've already used a lot more yarn than that. I just can't count it yet because I don't have them in finished objects, which I guess is good because I tend to not finish things even when they're like basically done. Like, you know, like I won't sew on the pockets or I won't block something because I'm being lazy. So maybe the fact that I cannot count it towards the stash bust until it's technically a finished object will get me to actually finish the stuff I start, which is a good thing. But now we are at a grand total from 207 to 206.5. Not a super productive month, but I'm hoping that next month is. So with that, I think I will let you guys go. Hopefully I see you around here soon. And thanks for sticking around.